Buttons are pressed. The machine says we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for coming. I don't know if anyone's even here waiting and watching, but if you are, welcome. You'll notice that something strange has happened. For Casual AF, the gaming stream's so casual, 95% of the time I don't even start the video game. I have started the video game. We've got one on screen. It's going to be a good time. And you also may notice a distinct absence of Craig Bragg. Craig Bragg is away this weekend, so he's not going to be with us, but we are going to be streaming with Terry Pants, who is here now. Say hello, Terry.
Hello.
And Sixty Poo, who will be on his way shortly. Yeah, he's a little late, but we're gonna have a good time. Sorry, I call Sixty Poo and Terry Pants.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but welcome, Terry. How are you this evening? Or actually, tomorrow afternoon. How are you tomorrow afternoon?
I'm fine. I've had a bit of trouble sleeping, so I mean, there's a bit of tiredness, but that's fine. I've always had trouble sleeping, so it's what it is. I'll be fine.
Oh, all right. Well, I hope you have a coffee or a tea or whatever it is you upside down people do.
I do drink a lot of tea. That is both necessary to get me through the day and also probably why I can't sleep.
Oh yeah, no, that'll do it. I cut off the caffeine usually like by the afternoon. So but tea usually has like an enzyme in it where your body doesn't reject the caffeine, so you shouldn't have like spikes and jitters and stuff unless you're
nothing like that. But it just keeps me awake in this it doesn't make me like nervous and jittery. It just stimulates my body enough that it says not time to sleep yet. So I'll lie in bed restless until my body decides, you know what? Okay, you can have a few hours.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't get used to it.
You poor guy. Oh man.
No, it's better than it was because I'm not working anymore. Because I inherited money and I don't need to work. So
son of a bitch. Sorry.
It was so much worse when I was working because I had to work tired and that was death. But my current situation, if I'm tired, it doesn't really matter. I just feel a bit tired for the day, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll feel better. The stakes are a lot lower. I don't have to risk fucking up at work if I'm too tired to notice something.
Well, that's ups and downs, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and also so we've got a game running. It's funny that I actually managed to get a game running, and I have, the local video game expert, a man who owns literally thousands of video games. That
is true. That is true.
Yeah, it's maybe it was the fact that you were coming that actually just somehow put that into the universe that I had to at least have some visual game just for you up here.
So Steam is very weird because it has two different numbers when I try to figure out how many games I own. So if I go to my library, it says I've got 2,504. But if I go to my profile, and it'll just take a while to load, it says I have 2,317. So I don't know which one is true. There's quite a difference. There's like over 100 games separating them.
So I think I might know. I'm going to guess free-to-play games that you didn't actually have to purchase aren't counted in your number.
That makes sense.
One is games you've actually paid for, and the other is free games that don't really matter.
Because I just noticed it says games owned on the profile, so that would be games that I've purchased. Whereas
that makes sense.
The library is just going to be games that I have at any point installed.
Right.
I have 1,560 unplayed games. So, quite a lot.
So I was pretty close. I was pretty close. 30 to 35% of the games you've owned, you actually gotten around to playing.
Yeah.
But you also have
Um,
like a secret trick. It's not really a secret, but it's a good trick to getting these games and never playing them, right?
yeah. So yeah, as I was saying before the stream started, there's a lot of bundle sites where you can get like 10 games for $10 or whatever it is. And it turns out that it's cheaper to buy all 10 games, even if you only want one of the games in the bundle, than it is to buy the game individually on Steam. So why not get 10 games and only play one of them?
Exactly. And then if you basically have a free trial to the entire game forever for 9 games.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet deal.
And it's
Yeah.
actually happened that like some of the games that I just got with the bundle and never really thought about have ended up being awesome.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Like sleeper hits, right? Like you didn't know
Hmm,
existed and would never have found otherwise.
there's a game, Fights in Tight Spaces. I don't
Oh
even
my
remember.
god. Oh my god, I love that game. I have that game. I gave it to 2 people. I loved it so much.
It is awesome.
It is so good. It's like a turn-based battle game involving like squares and movement points and cards where you're getting dealt a random hand of moves and you can play the moves with your points across the it's
Yeah,
so effing cool.
yeah, no. Like I already love deck building as a as a concept, so I was already on board when I saw that it was a deck building game. But they basically took Slay the Spire, which is like the game that most modern deck builder try to copy. They took that, but they added the spatial element where you've actually got, you know, a, a 2D plane that you can move around on.
Yeah.
Um, and so positioning becomes important as opposed to just standing in a line, taking turns hitting each other, which is
Right.
what you do in Slay the Spire. But that one thing adds so much depth to the gameplay, and
Oh yeah.
no, I really, really like that game. I
And
actually finished it with every single deck.
oh no, I haven't done that yet, but I've played through. It turns out I'm terrible at deck building because every time I try, I just like I can't draw a decent hand for the life of me. But the one of the things I love about it is the minimalist look. It
Yes,
is
yeah,
so crisp and clean with like a monochrome, duochrome, trichrome thing going on. Solid colors, almost like stickman fighting,
yeah,
except
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
animated
Um,
so beautifully.
yeah, I mean, there is a certain knack when it comes to deck building. Like you have to make sure that you can afford the cards that
Yeah.
you're grabbing. Like it's very easy, especially if you're like new to the genre. You see like this awesome card is like, oh man, I would love to do 500 damage, and then you see that it costs like six energy, and you can't cast it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oops.
6 energy in a game where you average 3 to 4.
Yeah, that's right.
You need perfect circumstances to pull off a
Yeah,
card like that, right?
yeah, and so it's very easy to get sort of blinded by the flashy effect and not realize how much it costs. But then there's the opposite trap where you see something costs zero and you think, oh, zero, that I can always cast it. It's like, yes, you can, but is the effect worth bothering with? Like,
Yeah, yeah, sometimes it doesn't do what anything that's going to help you in the moment and stuff. Yeah, but
yeah,
I'm just bad at it. So what I do is I just use the regular deck,
hmm,
right? And then when it comes to those, you know how you can stop at the gym at certain points
yeah.
and you can get a new card. I just get more of a card that I use frequently within that deck so it appears more often.
No, that's a decent enough strategy.
I
Um,
mean, considering I'm bad at it, right? And I
the
try not to get the same card twice, right? So if I
well,
keep using 2 or 3 cards over and over again, one time I'll grab one of them, the next time I'll grab another one, and then that seems to work. So
well, the thing is, if a card is good, then you want it as much as possible. There's no reason not like if a card is that good and you have the opportunity to add 10 to your deck, just put 10 in. Like
I
if the card is actually
suppose.
that good, is my point. Um, so yeah, I mean, the other thing that's easily overlooked, most people don't remove cards from their deck, and they really should.
That's
Um,
right. So, okay, I used to play Magic the Gathering.
I used to love that game. I haven't played it in years.
Did I played as far back as Beta and Unlimited?
Yeah, I played for a very short time. I think I started in Onslaught, and I played through to the Champions of Kamigawa. So that
Oh my
was like
gosh.
maybe a few years where I was playing, but
Yeah.
um, I I didn't I went back and looked at the cards from all those eras, and I played vintage T1, whatever name it's going by these days. So I used a lot of the cards from those old sets, but I
Yeah.
didn't start actually playing until Onslaught.
Okay.
Onslaught was
Yeah.
the
See,
current set when I joined.
I was already out by the time Onslaught was in, and I came back for a little while. I think during is it the main group of cards was 10th,
Okay,
and
yeah,
Shards of Alara was out. I think was the thing.
yeah. That's after I quit. Like I said, I was
Yeah.
only there for basically three sets: the Onslaught set, the Mirrodin set, and the Champions of Kamigawa set. After that,
Yeah.
I dropped out.
See, but prior to that, in the Alpha Beta Unlimited era, I was actually fairly good at deck building with those simpler cards. And
Hmm.
yes, keeping the deck down to 40 or 60 cards, depending on whose house rules you were dealing with, like a
Yeah,
minimum deck size of whatever. Yeah, I was fairly good at getting rid of superfluous cards, going, oh, I want my Force of Nature, but it's ridiculous cost. It's hard to keep it out and just
yeah.
cut it. Yeah, I was smart
Um,
then. Now I'm an idiot. I don't know what happened.
but no, I mean, in those deck building, like when you go to the gym in fights in tight spaces, you should often spend your money removing cards from your deck, uh, unless there's like an upgrade that you really need, or one of the cards on sale is really strong. Usually, you're better off spending the money removing cards. And like obviously, the starting cards are all bad, so those are like top candidate to be removed. Like anything that's in your starting deck, you probably don't need. Um, Once you've got better options added to your deck, so yeah, a lot of the money should be spent removing cards, and most people don't even recognize the benefit of removing cards, much less do it effectively.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I look at the initial decks and I'm like, these are actually solid. It helps me, like, I get through the game on this deck.
Well, they're good. They're good for the start of the game. Those cards are perfectly fine, right? They're designed to be used at the beginning of the game. They will very quickly become obsolete until you either remove them or upgrade them. And depending on what you're trying to do with the deck, you'll make different choices. But the base start deck is bad. Like on by I think the middle of the second stage, you should be like upgrading or removing as many of those cards as you can, because they don't uh, scale well with the increased enemy strength.
See, and now, like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm remembering how bad I am at deck building, and that's basically deck building. And now I'm afraid to try it.
No, I mean the only way you get better is by practicing. You,
I
you do it
suppose that's
enough, and
true too.
you'll understand. You know, oh, this card, it looks cool, but it's not actually useful.
I
Um,
mean, it is just a game. It's not like I'm actually going to get hurt or lose money by doing this, but still,
exactly.
I just feel dumb.
Well, that's the thing. It's a single player game. No one's even going to see your mistakes. So if you make a mistake and you screw up, it's like,
I'll
well,
see
who
them,
cares?
Terry. I'll see the mistakes.
Sure, but you have to you have to make mistakes in order to learn from them. Um,
Stop making sense.
no, like when I play Street Fighter, like I recently started playing the ranked mode in Street Fighter 6, and there's been times I got absolutely destroyed.
Mm.
And like I'm in silver, which isn't even very good, but some of the people in silver were just absolutely destroying me. But if I didn't lose to them, then I wouldn't be able to go, okay, so clearly what I was doing was not working. How do I deal with this situation if I want to, not get destroyed
Yeah.
next time it happens?
No, I know. You know what? So I used to play a lot of chess, and that's everything you're saying is basically what one of my favorite grandmasters of all time, Alexander Alekhine, had said.
Mhm.
Someone had asked him, "How does one become a grandmaster?" And his response was, "You have to lose 15,000 games."
Yeah, basically.
Yep. And yeah,
But there's a really cool quote that just makes me laugh when it comes to fighting games because they have like fighting game slang, which is you've got to get washed in order to get clean.
does washed mean like smoked by a much better player?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in order to be good at the game, which is like to play clean, you need to get washed by a lot of opponents.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's yeah, they're tapping their inner Alekhine there.
Yeah.
It's something that's been
Um.
known for hundreds of years by better people than me.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
it's it's true. Like you learn far more from a loss than from a victory. Or you can, I should say, you can learn far more.
yeah,
Whether
that's
you do or not is up to you. But
so what is it? Bruce Lee said something that I think falls in the same lines. That is a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer.
yeah, I'd say that's
Yeah.
true. It's
Damn it, Terry, you're super bloody wise. What the hell? Why don't you produce content? Run your own channel. People would flock
um
to you.
the main reason I don't create content is I don't have anything that I don't have any ideas for what I would even do. Um, like if people want to invite me onto a stream, then I'll just do what they're doing. So like here we're just talking, like having a fun conversation. On the corner we read Medium articles. On Clippers United we play Jackbox games. Like sure, if someone is doing something cool and they invite me, yeah, I'll join. But there's nothing. I can't think of anything that I'm compelled to do on my own that I want the world to see. Um,
See, which is just I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like I made some joke earlier about how you and Six are going to run the show for me while I play a video game, basically. And now you're actually doing it and saying, "Oh, I don't have anything that I would just like stream on my." You're doing it now. Like I'm actually, I feel like I'm watching your show, and it's great. Like you know what I mean? Like I was like, "Yeah,
yeah.
steal the show. Let's do it." And you're doing it, and it's wonderful. And yeah, don't sell yourself short, man. You would definitely have an audience and
Oh,
you have your own guests and be the foil for you'd make a great interviewer, I think.
well, I
Right.
mean, that would be
Yeah.
interesting. I would have to think very hard about what questions to ask because that is like where if you're going to do an interview show, you need to have proper questions and
Yeah.
yeah,
But you're an interesting person who is interested in things, and that's
yeah,
you'd probably just ask interesting questions about whatever interested you. So I don't think
yeah.
you have to
I
worry
think
so much about it.
um, like there's things that I'm interested in, but um, I I I tend to think I'm not expert enough to be giving advice, and that's kind of what I enjoy. So like when I play Pokemon with Tier Alexander, like if he said, "How can I get better?" I would have a lot of fun, like going through his teams and his plays and like analyzing. But I'm not. I don't think I'm anywhere near good enough to volunteer to do that. Like I'm not like some expert. I'm just like some guy who spends too much time playing Pokemon. Um, so I kind of I think I set the bar for myself too high. I think what it is there's so many people who are way better than me that I kind of think, well, just go see them. You don't need me to do anything.
See,
Like
no, yeah, hold on. See, no, here's something that I know. that maybe I can share a thing with you here. So I was never an expert in chess, but I was better than the average person. And the neighborhood
Yes.
in which I grew up, uh, not a lot of people even played. But some of them would see me playing and go, "Oh, this looks cool," and I would teach them how to play, and they'd be
Yeah.
very bad. So I'm not a grandmaster, but
No.
they're brand new and bad at the game, and I would talk them through what I was doing until they had some sense of it, and I could
Yeah.
actually teach people to beat me over time and then beat the other players too. And they would start playing against each other and suddenly they had and it's but I would tell them that's all I can do for you. If you want more, you have to move on to someone better than me. But that's an
Yeah.
important stepping stone. It's basically you're like the high school teacher that
Yeah, that makes
that
sense.
pushes them to university. You're saying you're not the PhD level expert, but you are something, and that's a
Yeah.
very valuable thing.
Well, yeah, there's certain things where I'm definitely above average. Like fighting games and Pokemon would be the two that leap immediately to mind where like I'm not going to win any tournaments or anything in either of those games, but if you pick a random person off the street, I will definitely beat them. Like I mean, I shouldn't say definitely. You might happen to pick, a grandmaster player, but chances are I would easily win against just some random person because I put in the time to actually learn how to play.
Yeah.
Um, and like you can actually see that in because Adam on Minions, we play fighting games, and I'm typically better than him. Like I will usually win, but not always. He's still good enough to get some wins here and there. But um, yeah,
Here
it's
and
like
there.
he's getting better at like recognizing what I'm good at and what I'm bad at, and like he seems to be figuring out that if he's just like hyper aggressive, I will struggle to defend myself, whereas before he was just like letting me get away with basically murder.
Right.
So like just by us playing, and it like this me not even like actively teaching him anything, just us playing, he's getting better, and
Yeah.
his win rate is increasing. Like just because he's starting to recognize, oh, if I do this, Terry really struggles with it. I'm going to keep doing this, and like
Yeah,
that's
for
that's
sure.
what you're meant to do.
Well, I mean, you know, let's maybe sit down one time and play I don't know if it's one of your favorites, but one of my absolute favorites is Street Fighter 3. Uh
I'm like I've never really gotten into Street Fighter 3. I think I would like it more now. It's just that when it came out, none of the characters in it were recognizable, so it didn't feel like a Street Fighter game. Um, because
it
like they
had
had
it
Ryu,
yeah, it
they
had I
had,
think 6 core characters and
yeah,
all the
they
rest
had
were
they
new.
had Ryu, they had Ken, and then they had an entire roster of unfamiliar characters. And it's like, no, I'm not interested in this. Um, but going back now, those characters from 3 have been added to 4, 5, and 6. So they're not.
Really?
Yeah. So like Oro is in 5, Dudley is in 4, Makoto is in 4, Gil is in
Yun and
5.
Yang?
Yun and Yang are in 4. Um, there's some that haven't come back. I don't think Necro has been seen since 3. Um, who else? Urian is in 5. He's another one.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
Uh
like a lot of the cast of
Eric.
3 has been added to the future games, so they're less foreign than they were in
Right.
the late 90s. So I would probably enjoy it more now than I did back then. But I'm not familiar. I'm not like very familiar with how it plays. Other than I know that there's parries and I'm bad at parrying.
Uh, I loved Yun and Yang so much. They were great characters. They were really well put together
Um,
fighting characters.
yeah,
And
I
in my
mean,
local group of people, I had become so dominant in Street Fighter 3 that I
awesome.
had to start using odd characters like
Yeah,
Q and 12.
nice.
the two characters that have zero combos, nothing
Yeah,
connects to another. And I learned them so well that I started dominating with those weird ass stupid characters.
that's no, that's basically me and Adam in Street Fighter Six is because I actually play the game. Well, like he plays it, but I like play it.
Yeah.
um, so if we play Street Fighter Six, and he likes to finish every stream with Street Fighter Six, if I use my main, which is Luke, he's got no chance. Like not a hope in hell. Um, because I know how to play Luke. So
Yeah.
if I want a fair match, well, fair, like if I want a more even match against Adam, I have to pick someone that I don't know how to play at all. So I usually go with
Mm.
Manon. Because Manon is cool. I like her as a character. I just can't play grapplers. So if I play Manon, he usually has a decent chance of winning. But if I pick the
Yeah.
character I'm good with, then it's over.
See, I'm not super familiar with the new game. I haven't really seen too much of it, so I
Okay.
don't know any of the new characters, but I understand the concept of maining. And I also, something else I realized, especially because Street Fighter 3 was one of my favorites, and yes,
Yeah.
you're right, all these weird new foreign characters suddenly in the game out of nowhere. To become better with my mains, I had to learn how to play other characters so that I would see what their attacks are like, what their combos are like, and
Absolutely.
then I
Yeah.
would know what's coming, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was also useful. That's how I ended up being so good at Q and 12, was because I already knew bunches of the other characters. So anyone you
Yeah.
came at
Yeah.
me with, I knew how they fought.
Yeah, you don't
Uh,
need to be like super good with every character, but you should know the basic game plan of every character and what to look out for and things like that. Um, because yeah, if all you know is your own character, then they can like pull off something that you don't expect and just you'll get steamrolled. So you need to know at the very least what to be on the lookout for, what they're trying to accomplish. Like if you're playing against Zangief, you know he wants to get close to you because he's going to pull off
yeah,
the spinning pile driver. Um, and so you have to work more on keeping him far away from you than you would normally like any other character. Whereas with Dalsim, it's the opposite. You know he wants you full screen so he can annoy you with his long legs and stretchy
yeah,
arms. So you want to actually close the gap against Dalsim and get up in his face because he can't fight that way. So
right,
at the very least, you need to know the game plan of each
yes.
character and what they're trying to accomplish. And like those are the two extreme examples because it's very, very obvious what they're trying to do.
And there's another thing about Street Fighter 3. I don't know how much it was a part of other games, but from what I recall, it was 3 was the first one where your taunt command actually did something.
I think it's the only one. I'm pretty sure 4, 5, and 6 it does nothing. It's just
So you can still do a
taunt.
taunt and tell someone "Let's go" or whatever, but it doesn't,
Yeah, it has
because
no in-game effect.
for Q and 12, at least for Q for sure, the taunt was important
Yes,
because when every time he taunts, his
his defense goes
defense
up.
increases. Yeah,
Mm.
so you could taunt up to 3 times, and if you can squeeze those in, it doesn't matter if he gets hit almost because it does so little damage now.
Yeah, yeah.
And people didn't understand it. They didn't know. And yeah, like I was like, no, it's because I keep taunting you that I'm kicking the shit out of you with fucking
Oh,
Q.
I will take it back. There are some taunts in Street Fighter Six that do things. It's just that they're suboptimal. Like Lily, who's one of the new characters,
Mm,
her taunt is that she takes the camera out and she takes a photo. The flash of the camera can actually destroy fireballs. So if like someone throws a fireball at you, you can use the camera taunt to destroy the fireball. It's just a terrible way to deal with fireballs because the rest of the animation has to play out. So you're still vulnerable for like an
yeah.
entire second, but I mean it does something. If you want to flex on the opponent, you can use your camera to destroy their fireball and like haha. you're so bad, I can taunt in the middle of the fight.
Right, right.
There is one as well, Blanca in Street Fighter 6. He's got this new move where he takes a little doll of basically himself and he throws it on the ground, and he can use electricity to like charge it up and make it actually do something, like run across the screen and hit the opponent. But he's only got 3 of those, and so his taunt, well, one of his taunts, actually has him juggling 3 dolls, and then he puts one in his pocket, and that actually will increase your doll count by 1. But
What?
you have to let the entire animation play out, which is obviously not going to happen very often.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Still, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so there are some things that you can use the taunts for, but it's still an incredibly bad option. You'd only do it if you were like desperate for an extra doll.
Which again, I mean, he's Blanca. You've got some pretty good attack, like aggressive options. I imagine the doll is
Yeah,
probably not key to your strategy.
yeah. I don't know. Like, if I play Blanca, I don't use the dolls at all because I stick to what I know. Like, I haven't actually learned how to incorporate the dolls into a game plan yet.
Mm,
Um, so like I know what they're for, but his basic game plan of really good normal attacks and long range rolling attacks, like the where he curls up into a ball and throws himself across the screen.
yes,
Um,
classic.
you can get a lot done with just very good normal attacks and his specials. Like he's got the one where he, like, instead of going horizontal, he goes kind of up and in an
Yeah,
arc.
the like
That one is really
anti-air
good.
attack, right?
Yeah. He's also got one where he goes directly up. That's probably a better anti-air than the rainbow roll. Um, but yeah, um, just mixing up his different rolling attacks and using his incredibly good normal attacks, that's enough. You can get a lot done
Yeah,
with just those.
yeah. Like Blanca's a staple, right? He's a great character.
Yeah, I've liked Blanca ever since Street Fighter Two. Like,
Yeah.
I always liked him because he was like the monster character.
Oh, is E Honda back?
Yes, yes. Honda is in 6.
Nice.
Uh, all
Generally
8.
underrated. Good character.
Oh, all eight characters in the original Street Fighter 2 are in Street Fighter 6. So
Nice.
none of the bosses, none of, like, no Balrog, Vega, Sagat, or Bison, no Akumi yet. But the 8 World Warriors, so like Ryu, Ken, Honda, Chun Li, Blanca, Zangief, Guile, and Dalsim, all in Street Fighter 6.
Beautiful.
I think they know that Street Fighter 2 is kind of the one that everyone knows. So they're like, yeah, if we want this game to sell, we'll put the characters people like in the game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like Street Fighter 2 was reinvigorated arcades when arcades were dying. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it was just incredible. And part of it was the versus mode, that you weren't just playing against the computers, that you're playing against this other a-hole in
Yeah,
the arcade. And like you could have rivalries against complete strangers. You've never
yeah.
spoken to this person in your life, but you see them across the arcade and lock eyes, and you hear that like wah 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 wah, like like
Hmm. Well,
showdown at the fucking at the arcade machine for quarters. People
well,
lining their quarters up at the bottom of the screen and shit.
back then, I only wanted to play the computer. Like, I got annoyed when I was at the arcade and someone, like, interrupted my arcade run to challenge me, because usually because they'd win, because I was not good back then. Um, but yeah, I used to be like, no, I just want a bit of the computer.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming. Sorry, Terry. Hold on one second. I'm glad to see you here. Yes, there are orcs, and yes, I will fight something in a moment. I'm just lining up my troops while chatting with Terry Pants here. Uh, good to see you. We had like 0 viewers until just now. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to fight something. Don't you worry, C-Mac. And
Yeah.
Terry's going to carry the show for me while I do it. There are orcs. I'm actually fighting the beastmen, or I'm about to fight the beastmen. Just hold on. Let me make sure I've got all my dudes in position here.
Yeah. So back then, I was only interested in the fighting the computer. Though nowadays, I don't mind quite as much going into like ranked mode. I think maybe because it's online, it's like less personal. So like I don't have to worry like upsetting anyone. Like you know, you you made me waste $1. I'm gonna beat you up, kind of thing. Because there's a lot of that.
Yeah, people aren't. I don't know. There seemed to be an arcade etiquette when I was actually going to physical arcades.
Hmm.
Uh, you know.
No, I definitely preferred playing against the computer. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely more fun playing against a live human because once you know how the AI works, it's like really easy to exploit. So like if I'm playing Street Fighter 6 against a computer and if I just want to win rather than have fun, I can. Like it's very easy to just exploit the problems in the AI and just oh look, I sweeped. Oh, you got knocked down. Oh, another sweep. Oh, you got knocked down again. Oh, what's that? You ran out of life. Oh well, I guess the round's mine. Um, if I just wanted to do that, then sure, I could like win all the time, but that's not fun. So I will play as if it were a human because that is more fun.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm right now I'm playing against the computer, right?
Yeah,
Because well, honestly, I'm not that good at these games anymore, and human players across the internet would fucking smoke me. So
yeah,
I just put on the cheats, play some mods, and have at it at a mild to medium difficulty level.
yeah. I mean,
So yeah.
it depends what you're looking for. Like if you want a challenge, then yeah, you can play against the really good players and get destroyed. If you want you know, if you want easy mode, then that's what the mods are for.
Oh shit, the beastmen are on the move now.
Like,
My
when
ranged
I
weapons
was
got them
playing
running.
when I was playing like Total War, the I played the Rome one, and I would just cheat my ass off. Like I couldn't play that game fairly, but suddenly I had infinite money, and the game got a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, occasionally I do like actually seeing how it would work out if I was actually playing it, but mostly, yeah, I don't want a lot of trouble, right?
Yeah.
And because I play the Warhammer ones, like you see, this guy's casting fucking magic on my dudes here. I'm gonna be clawed the shit out of to do a whole bunch of damage. Uh, this is a little bit arcadey for this kind of game. The matches tend to last 5 to 6 minutes, where in some of
Okay.
the other ones, like original Rome Total War, Rome 2, Shogun, the battles can go on for half an hour or longer,
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, and like tactics and strategy mattered. You could effectively fight an opponent fielding 3 to 4 times the troops that you were because your tactics were sound. You can't do
Yeah.
that in this game, right? Like it really does come down to whoever has more troops. And yeah, like look how tight this map is. You see these stupid white lines on either side here?
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. How am I supposed to flank them? How am I supposed to set a trap? You know,
Yeah. That's true.
it's yeah, because this was Warhammer first and Total War second. This version of the game. So
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah, and it's less about the actual battles like this, but there's like again the mods I have on it make the battles go a little longer, make troops stick it out for more, so you get more time for your tactics to do something. but when you end up with a map like this, it literally doesn't matter anymore, right? Like you're just sort
Yeah,
of stuck.
I
And
yeah, I used to cheat in the battles and just give myself these giant elephant things, um, and they would just like stampede everything, and like okay, I win.
yeah, well, here I'm trying to drop some magic on these a-holes. Let's see what happens. Ooh, ooh.
I always used to simulate the battles because I was lazy. Like no, just
Yes, sometimes I do, but part of the point for me is to actually fight the battles. And again, I'm just
yeah.
not happy with this map. I should have autoed it, should have simulated it, and gone on to a
Um,
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the map side of things, like with infinite money, where I could make sure I could afford everything I wanted to do rather than play properly. But I enjoyed that side of it, but I never really got into the like actual battles. So I just like you'll let me simulate them, okay? Click the button, and it actually works better because like the elephants were so huge, like ridiculously large, that they could get stuck in the scenery and just not be
Oh yeah.
effective. So if you simulate, it just says this is the strength of your army versus the strength of the opponent's army. Now, those elephants had a lot of power. It's just if they were useless if they got stuck on the scenery. So simulating got rid of that problem for me, and it's like, okay, yes, I will win every
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah, and like, yeah, see how tight this is. How am I supposed to do a maneuver? You know,
Yeah.
thank God I have the cheats on, and even
Yeah.
that's not really going to save me here. Like, I'm gonna get a lot of damage done to my troops. It's gonna be terrible.
It's yeah, I've never been good at strategy games, but I still like them. Like anything like Civilization or uh Total War. Like I'm not good at the games, but they're fun regardless. Like Age of
Yeah,
Empires. That's why I cheat. Is that if I play fairly, I'll just lose, and that's not fun. So I'll give myself every advantage. And it's like, yay! I managed to slowly take over the map.
for a while there, I actually got quite good at things like civilization, right? Even in particular, older civilization games. But yeah, like I mean, they're fun, but also like I don't. I'm not trying to stress out here and be
Yeah,
challenged. I'm just trying to relax and build my empire and just watch it grow and stuff. Like even
I
this, I'm likely going
I
to
like
win.
I liked Civ 4 because it let me use my creative thinking to get an achievement that I had no right getting. So it was like the achievement was to win a game on deity or whatever the hardest difficulty setting was.
Yep,
It's
yep.
like, okay, there's no way I can do that fairly. But what I can do is set up a map where they are all the way over on the other side of the map. It's a huge map. There's only two of us on it. We're on opposite sides of the map. I can just very quickly race to build a spaceship and go to Alpha Centauri. And by the time they cross the map to attack me, I'm already done. It's like, okay, this is the plan. We're going to win on deity. And it worked.
Yeah, and I mean like that. Like that's what I mean is sometimes the fun, and that's revolutions, right? For this consoles
Well,
is
I was playing Civ 4 on the PC. That was how I did that.
eh,
But yeah, Civilization Revolution was the console version.
yeah, and like that was some of the fun of it. Is like, oh, I just want to grow my civilization, add more cities, not really do too much going to war, and fly to space. Like
Yeah,
it was more like a Sims game, right? Where you're just but instead of Sim City or Sim person, it's Sim an entire nation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my plan. It was like I pick someone like the Aztecs who I know are like warmongers because I don't want them working on going to space because they'll get there first. So I want them committed to war, but then having to traverse this entire ridiculously large map before they can actually attack me, and they couldn't in time, so I won. And so I felt good because I was not good at the game the way it's meant to be played, but I was able to find a solution to the problem of like how to win on deity without actually being good at the game. So I
Right.
really enjoyed it. But they took that out in Civ 5 and Civ 6, where if you have the like ridiculously huge map, they make you put a minimum number of computer players on it. It's like, well, no, I'm not interested anymore. Like you took
Yeah.
away the cleverness. Like that was my clever strategy. And like, there's no reason for you to neuter it. If I want a giant map with 2 people on it, let me do it. Like, what does it hurt you if I'm you know playing in a way that you don't approve of? I don't get when game developers get all no, this is how you must play. Like, no, if it's a single player game, what the fuck do you care how I'm playing it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, a little touchy. It's my creation. You don't
yeah,
get to enjoy it any other way than how I intended. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
no, I think that's stupid. Like, I understand if it's multiplayer, then you have to keep things fair. Like, obviously, if I had a strategy that was just overwhelmingly powerful, then no other player would enjoy the game. Okay, yeah, you do need to remove the tactic in that case if it's a multiplayer thing and I'm ruining people's fun. But if I'm just ruining the computer's fun, the computer has no feelings. They don't care.
and that's why I like the spiffing Brit, because no matter how much they think they've done a good job, he always finds the exploit. He all
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah,
you're foolish. You've every game ever, no matter what you do, there's something wrong with it, and I'm gonna show you. And he's just beautiful. Like he's such a clever dude. Because I think he's an engineer and a coder, but he doesn't ever advertise that. So
okay.
he already knows there's something wrong, and he can just take a glance at what you did right without
Mhm.
ever going into the code of the game or trying to like look at your at the technicals. He can just look at what you tell him about the game, and he's like, oh yeah, I see the gap, I see the
Yeah,
hole, and I'm gonna show it to you now.
uh,
He's great. I love him.
I don't know if he actually did it more than once or twice, but I heard that he found an infinite money glitch, like not in a game, in real life, where uh, he found that if you subscribe to yourself, not subscribed, became a follower. You know how that thing became a member. You know that thing where you pay five
Yeah,
dollars to support. Yeah, if you did that to your own channel, they would say you can't do that and refund your $5. But AdSense would say, "Hey, you got a new member," and give you like $1 as like your cut of the membership.
really.
I'm almost certain that that no longer works. I mean,
Right. Yeah. No, they would have fixed it as soon as he showed them the exploit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have done it like multiple times and tried to make actual money from it because he'd probably get sued for you know some sort
No,
of
if
fraud.
that's the way they coded it, that's their problem.
Yeah, but the legal system is not exactly in the small guy's corner. I
That's
think
true too.
YouTube would win the case whether they were meant to or not. So I don't think he actually tried to make money like serious money doing it, but he did it like once or twice to prove that it existed.
That it works. Yeah.
And then he made a video about it. And he probably made more money off the video than by actually doing the thing. But it was just funny. They were dumb enough to leave this exploit in their code. So it's like, yeah, if you want
I'm sure
infinite
they
money
just didn't
to be
notice,
given
right?
away,
Like they just didn't see it,
yeah.
you know?
I think they didn't even consider that anyone would try subscribing, becoming a member of their own channel. Like they probably didn't even think to test it because it's like such a weird thing to do that like most normal people aren't even going to think of that.
Yeah, no, why would you bother, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they probably never tested it because there's like none of the testers even thought of the possibility. Um, and that's actually why I got annoyed when I was working. Um, I used to have to do like occasional testing for IT, but they would tell me do this exact thing and tell me the result, then do this exact thing and tell me the result. It's like, okay, I mean that'll get some of the bugs out, but let if you just let me play around with this thing, I guarantee I'll find more.
Yeah.
Like rather than if you do this, does this happen? Yes or no?
They don't
Just like
want you to find more. Yeah, they just want you to solve the problem that they see. And
yeah, and it ended up biting them in the ass because one of the things I was in charge of the payments, and so we had this payment system, and the little confirmation window came up and said, "Do you want to submit all the payments?" And then someone at the last minute said, "Oh wait, can you add one more to today's payment run?" So I cancelled the payment thing, and unfortunately, because they never tested it, it still marked everything as paid without actually paying anything. Um,
ooh,
and yeah, that was a massive problem that if they tested properly, they would have found. Um, and like when they were like saying, "What the hell happened?" It's like, and I told them, it's like, "Oh yeah, we didn't even think anyone would cancel the payment." Like, you didn't?
uh,
Like, why did you put it as an option if you didn't think anyone would click it? So yeah, that's why they should have just given me free reign to mess around, see what see how I can break the system, and then tell them this is how I broke the system. You might need to fix that.
yeah. Basically, they need you to be their spiffing Australian,
Yes, exactly.
spiffing Aussie.
I guarantee I would have cancelled payments if I was just testing shit. Like that like obviously you want to test all the options, including canceling. Because
Yeah,
so yeah,
just in case, just in case.
so yeah, we had to then re-enter the entire day's payments, like as quickly as possible because there was a 3 p.m. cutoff because of trading with the United States. Everything had to be in by a certain time. And so as we cancelled the payment to add one more, but unfortunately it just marked everything as paid and didn't pay it. So it's like, oh. So we like frantically typing in all the payments over again, trying to get it done before 3 o'clock.
Oh my god, poor guys. Yeah, all because
So,
they don't
yeah.
listen.
Yeah, basically. We know what errors are possible. You will do what we say, and no other experimenting is allowed. Yeah, all right. I was just a settlements officer. I had no say in how IT ran their testing. I was just someone that they said, we need someone to test this. Terry likes computers. Let's get him. Like, yeah. If you're not going to let me do anything, then I don't know why it mattered that I like computers.
You're good at computers. That's
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter if all I'm allowed to do is follow the script, then anyone like you
yeah.
could like yeah, get your cousin in off the street and they're like, here, follow these instructions and tell me what happens. It's like you don't need to take me away from my job to do this. It's like
Oh, so while I was in battle, though, we missed some comments from some cool people here. Imagine feeding all those soldiers. Oh my god.
yeah.
Don't worry, I've got farms in all my little cities here. Uh, there are some deep Warhammer 40k games with orcs. Haven't tried them though. Yeah, like this isn't 40k. This is fantasy. Uh, good fun time. I prefer it, to be honest. 40k is cool. I do enjoy it, but this is my jam.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um the only thing I really had anything to do with 40k is the Dawn of War series of video games. That's my only exposure to 40k, besides watching Queers paint miniatures.
Yeah, no, and I should actually try playing some of those because I'm learning the lore on the side without actually playing or reading the books or anything like that.
Hmm.
But I do love it. Like I love the Noise Marines, man. Oh,
Dawn of War is a lot of fun if you like real time strategy games.
I do, obviously.
Obviously, one of the things I like is that they kind of push you to expand. Like you, they very much discourage turtling. Like you have to be like constantly trying to expand, and
Yeah,
that keeps the game like active. Like you don't want both players sort of like huddled in their respective corners, because in a multiplayer game at least that's not going to be terribly fun. Um, so the way it worked is you've got these landmarks that whoever owns them gains resources, and so you want to control as many of them as you can. So you have to keep pushing forward so you get more resources and deny them to your opponent, and they're trying to take them back from you.
yeah, yeah.
Which is a lot
And
better
that's
than
good.
just
That's good.
yeah,
Like, whole. I just want to share this one. This is Costin. Apparently, he's a fan of yours too.
yeah, yeah,
Greetings, wonderful, wonderful seeming, and wonderful adjacent people, real and Australian.
yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah, I
Costa.
told you, it's an imaginary place on the underside of the disc.
But yeah,
Uh,
it is more engaging if you're fighting over the resources in the middle of the map rather than something like StarCraft, where you've got your minerals and your Vespene gas like in your base, and you can like turtle as much as you want, really, as long as you can stop them from invading you.
yeah,
Something like Dawn of War, which forces you to expand, I definitely appreciate.
yeah, yeah. Even like in the Total Wars, like this one, like your big cities here, like this Altdorf, you have walls and a huge amount of dudes just sitting around inside waiting to defend and stuff. So you throw an army in it, and suddenly it's like impenetrable. There was a couple of versions of Total War that's not the case.
Okay.
So rather than fall back and defend, your better option was to sally out and fight the invader on the field. Which was great. That yeah, almost all the battles then happened out on the field, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of them. So they were very good games, very good versions of the games. Because yeah,
Yeah.
again, this one I love the lore and the look and all that, but it is a little arcadey and probably not
Yeah.
the best Total War game.
Yeah. So for the fantasy Warhammer, like I said before, Blood Bowl is my only real exposure to Warhammer, and Blood Bowl is awesome, but it's very different to the actual like proper game.
I actually would want to play that like some sort of version of football with all of the factions from Fantasy Warhammer.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no, it's very unforgiving, I will say.
oh, for
So
sure.
so when like everything you do is a die roll, and so like even picking up the ball, you have to roll the dice to see if you pick it up successfully or not. And uh, if you fumble the ball, like if you drop the ball, your turn is over. It doesn't matter how many of your people haven't moved yet. If you
Mm,
drop the ball or lose a fight, no, 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 not if you lose a fight. If you drop, it's mostly if you drop the ball. Um, if you drop the ball, your turn ends, and so you have to prioritize like movement first, then fights, and
the game.
then you do things like you always leave like passing to the end, because that's like if you fail, if you like you fail the pass, then that's it. Your turn. Not only is your turn over, the ball is probably somewhere very easy for them to get.
Hello.
Hey,
Six is here. Welcome, sir. How are you this evening?
Tired and hungry. I have a pizza cooking
the
right now, so I will.
six stole my answer.
Tired and hungry, eh?
Yeah.
Tired and hungry.
Well, welcome, sir. How, what's going on? You were working today, but you're here now,
I am
and
here now.
yeah, we're oi wankers. Yeah, sorry, I've got my eyes on the other screen here, but I see you. I see you. You're here. I brought
Yeah.
you in, and we've been having a good time, and now it's only going to get better.
Indeed, it will.
6. Good to talk to you, man. It's actually been a long time since we've been in earshot of each other like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised because Irving was asking about your channel, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, just go to the next live streams." And yeah, I saw that the nice hikes. It's almost been a year since the last one of those.
Yeah, it's. I do apologize about that.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying. I was surprised. I was like, wow, it's been a whole year almost since we've done that.
Yeah. I've been busy riding up a storm, and
good man.
that's just been taking up.
Yeah,
so
no, I
much-
mean, I think it'll be cool once the story's written and we all get to read it.
Yeah. So Irving's going to be one of my beta readers, and
I'll be one of the characters.
Yep. So both of you are actually characters, and
I like that. I like that you put people from our group of friends, put them into your story. That's cool.
so you guys have really cool alternate selves, and it's been a joy. It's been a joy writing for you guys.
Well, I've been told that I'm quite the character, and now that's absolutely true. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for including me.
You're absolutely welcome. And I'm using a 4-act structure, and I just started the first chapter of the 4th act.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
you're deep. You're deep.
Making progress there.
I am balls deep in this project, and it's been a hell of a ride. I started this rough draft back in December, so
Wow. Yeah.
It's about 8 months that I've been working on this, and I'm just past 555 pages.
Wow, it's a lot of words.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm on chapter 17, and my projected 22 chapters is going to be that.
Okay. Not bad.
It's a behemoth.
I can't wait. I do love a good rich text, especially if it's not overfilled with descriptions of the tapestry in the castle and shit like that. If it's good, if you've got me and you just have this thick complex story, yes, 500 plus pages are. I've had people pick up a Warhammer fantasy book and said, you're never going to read this. I was like, I read that twice. It's 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
Right. I'm happy to read something heavy. I love it. So
CMAC has made the comment. I learned today that 6 has too much spare time. I would love that to be the case. I would fucking love that to be the case.
What 6 has is too much passion. Women beware.
I work a 40-hour week. I work a 40-hour week, and the time that I do have is right before work, so I try to get at least a page done before I go to work.
That's a good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go check on my pizza here real quick.
Yeah,
here.
do it.
No worries.
You know, because I write half a page to a page a day, but not anything in particular. I'm just practicing my cursive writing because they don't teach it in schools anymore. Right. So I'm just trying to keep that art form alive. And people now, after a couple of years of practice, will see me write something when I just write offhand. Oh, yeah, here, let me make a note. They go, oh my God, your handwriting is gorgeous. I'm like, are
No.
you out of your mind? It's fucking garbage. But like having practiced it, I write, yeah, half a page to a page a morning while I have my coffee and a cigarette and I'm half blind because I just woke up. But I'm just practicing my cursive. If I wish I had Six's passion and the idea that I could be doing, because I used to do that too. I used to write scenes for what I thought would one day be a book and never got around to actually finishing it. So
See,
I'm really
I-
happy for him. I can't wait to indulge in reading
I
his
don't know
work.
if it counts, but what I do as quote unquote writing is when I play Pokemon against Tier, I will do all the damage calculations and write them down. So it's like, okay, he has this Pokemon, and if I do this attack, it'll do 62.3 to 71.8% damage. Okay, and I'll just write that down, and then I'll be okay. If I want to beat this team, this is like the attacks that I should use. This is the Pokemon I should pick, and all that sort of thing. That technically I'm writing. It's not a story, but it is a lot of writing.
Yeah, no, and hey, if you're printing or handwriting are clean because of it, good for you. Like all the
Oh.
better, right?
But yeah, I do think it's fun just to sit there doing the damage calculations and like, okay, so it turns out that the fairy attack is stronger than the electric attack against this Pokemon. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, in the interest of fairness, I don't consult my notes while I'm playing because I think that would be a bit unfair. But it's good research. It's good preparation for the match. I find, and I think that's also why I tend to win most of our matches because he does not have the time nor the inclination to spend that much time preparing.
Right.
Like most people don't. I'm kind of obsessive when it comes to things I'm into.
Yeah. See,
And I am back.
Excellent.
how's your pizza?
Yeah, it's quite nice. It has Canadian bacon on it, or as you like to refer to it as
Bacon.
bacon.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dad to make dad jokes.
That is true. If you've ever seen me on Quippers, I make a lot of very bad puns and deliberately literal interpretations and other fun wells of dad joke, comedy.
You're far too modest, Terry. You're a guy that doesn't even try, and you still win like consistently.
Depends on the game. I tend to find the more freeform it is, the better I do. So I'll typically do better in something like talking points, where I can just make shit up off the top of my head. Whereas something like Job, where I'm very limited by the words that the game gives me to construct my answer, I tend not to do so well. But,
Frosted,
yeah, Frosted is a comedic genius when it comes to these games. He's like hands down the best player that I've ever played with. He's just brilliant at almost all of the games. He's very, very funny, very, very good at them.
I think he secretly practices these things all during the week.
If he does, power to him. It's funny enough.
No, you know what? I don't know the man well, but from the times I've interacted with him, he just seems like the modern day Diogenes. He's just a pure cynic, and
Yeah.
he lets it come out in humor, and it's really good. It's
Yeah. Uh, there's like no contest in my mind that Frosted is the champion when it comes to any of those like Jackbox games or Use Your Words or the Rift Tracks game. Any of those sort of you're given a prompt and you have to be funny. He just amazing at
Yeah.
them.
So, interestingly enough, Frosted Glass is also a character in my book.
oh.
As I would hope he would be, because he deserves it. I mean, I would even let that creepy Jack Gunsky fellow get a character in your book.
Funny you should bring him up. Yeah.
I don't know why, but giving Jack a hard time is just so much more fun than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like obviously he's one of my best friends. I don't actually think he's creepy. It's just fun to insult him and give
To
him shit.
rip on him, yeah.
He actually respects a good insult if it's done well.
Oh yeah.
C-Mac is saying that Frosted Glass sounds like a hooker name. It's actually taken from the producers, where I think one of the scripts that they were considering for the terrible movie that would make them all the money was the Frosted Glass. That's where he got it from.
He also likes to go by Dr. Ted Nelson.
That he does, and that is from The Incredible Melting Man, I believe, which is one of the movies that MST3K covered.
It's a classic.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Dr. Ted Nelson. And then he gets shot.
Which one did we get the rock climbing from?
Oh, I can never remember. I only remember The Incredible Melting Man because Ted Nelson is such an enduring joke.
Yeah.
The rock climbing one I forget, but Frosted would remember. He really likes MST. He remembers all this stuff.
Yeah. Yes, I know. You always give me a hard time when I complain about spring. You always put the no springs.
Yeah. No Springs is a classic as well. That is my favorite of the pre-movie shorts that they covered was the No Springs one.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because it reminds me of The Simpsons, because The Simpsons did a parody of it where it's like no zinc, and like in the end he goes to shoot himself. He's like, sorry Billy, the firing pin in your handgun is made of, you guessed it, zinc.
Zinc.
and then he's like lying in bed going, no, come back, zinc, come back.
Oh god. Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
I know exactly which firearm he was using for it to be made of zinc.
And there it is. There it is. The gun nut. I love it.
But yeah, the Springs one is like basically the same thing. Someone wishes Springs out of existence and then suddenly realizes that all of these things that he's just used to no longer work because there's no more springs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who even thinks of like wishing springs out of existence? Like, how is that a thought anyone has ever had?
There's that.
Springs killed my father and raped my mother.
There's that on Twitter. There's that. Every now and again you see it posted. What could you steal from someone's house that would? It's not major, but it would be a minor enough. Yeah. And the thing that I would steal is the springs out of all their pump soaps.
Yeah.
It just pump down and that's it. It's over.
Yeah, and there was that little pixie elfie guy who was like, no springs, and then he'd like laugh every time The
There's
guy
that,
did
and
something that needed a spring.
that noise. Wah, wah.
Yeah, Coily, that was his name. Coily the Spring Sprite.
Really, this
Absolute madness. Been trying to work in like a Quippers United, like thing and end of the book. I haven't, but probably one of those things I'll have to sneak back to a previous chapter and kind of just shoehorn in somewhere.
Okay, yeah. It would be fun to have Clippers United in there.
just a crew of people that play games.
Pretty much.
You're thinking about like gamblers or I don't know, horse racers, gladiator type stuff. And they're the regulars for that, right? If you want to make it part of an epic, right? It's the same thing, just with a little higher stakes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an interesting the fourth act is going to be very interesting for your character, Irving.
Ooh.
In fact,
He's going to push down on the pump, and it's not going to have a spring, and it's going to.
But it all revolves around Irving Twin's resemblance to a historical figure.
To a historical figure. Yeah, I still don't know which historical figure.
When you figure that part out, then you'll know. But I doubt that you're going to get that figured out before I can toss you the beta version.
Manuscript. It's called a manuscript when you.
I prefer my.
It's you're in Canada. It's a people you script.
A people you script. Fuck that loser, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that guy is just a joke. I mean, not that Australia's doing any better, but I really can't stand Justin Trudeau.
Oh. Yeah, he's the worst. He's not just a bad prime minister, he's a fucking monster. It's That
whole trucker protest was like proof of just what a piece of shit he really is. It's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, and he has not backed off of any of it. Like,
no, of course not.
Like there's been some leaks around their next bid for campaigning for the federal election coming in 2 years. They're going to push for mandatory vaccination as part of their campaign platform. Oh, it's over. It's been over a long fucking time. Nobody buys it anymore.
No.
Why the fuck are you going to push this? But they're pushing it because he's pushing it because he's a WF puppet.
Yeah.
He's already probably invested so heavily in Pfizer and all those people.
And if YouTube is listening, this is a joke. We all love the WEF. Don't take Irving's channel down.
I'm eating bugs as we speak, and I'm living in the pod.
You know, you don't have to do that. Thanks, guys, but no, you don't.
And I've given up on fashion. You don't have to wait until 2030. I've already given up on fashion.
There you go.
I'm wearing the uniform and eating the bugs and living in the pod.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we don't have to do that. Like, it's more of a joke than anything. Like, I'll do it on the Minions. Like, I'll do it on like Frosted's channel. It's just we love the WEF. All hail Klaus Schwab. We don't want to lose our channel.
And his fetching frock or whatever that thing he's wearing.
Yeah. He does not seem like a Bond villain in the slightest.
The absolute worst.
But if anybody were a candidate to be a person to live in a volcano, that dude certainly would be at the top of my list of volcano dwelling people.
I wish Klaus Schwab was like a YouTube streamer so I could super chat and have him say, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." I just want to hear it once. That's all.
Yeah.
C-Max, just come and fight me, you bug-eating weirdo.
So
Nano carriers are next. So he's not heavily invested in Pfizer or Moderna. He's heavily invested personally in the company that produces the lipid nanoparticles that Pfizer and Moderna use as the delivery mechanism for their mRNA technology.
Well,
That's
sure.
how he's making his money, Justin
yeah.
Trudeau. Yeah. Yeah, like his family fortune has like what's the word for 10 times? Like, quintupled? Has he decatupled?
Yeah, decuple or whatever it is. Something
Yeah,
like that.
decoupled. Sure, yeah. Since through COVID. Yeah.
Total coincidence, I'm sure.
Yep. Nothing to see here. Move along, losers.
There was something on a much smaller scale down here in New South Wales where they passed a law saying that all slot machines needed a sticker that said you have less than a 1 in a million chance of hitting the jackpot on this machine. Just by coincidence, the printing company that made those stickers was run by the sister of the premier.
Of course. Yeah.
No, nothing corrupt going on there.
But we have a million to one, or a million in basically 1-to-1 chance of making tons of money on this sticker fucking deal. Yeah.
It's not to the same scale as what you're talking about with Trudeau, but it's the same principle where it's like very obvious corruption.
Insiderness and favoritism for sure.
Definitely.
Well, we have this thing called the WE scandal, a charity scandal where basically nobody ever got to bid on doing this job for the government. That's a charity job. The WE charity just got it all and got all the government funding. And of course, they're friends of the Trudeaus. The Trudeaus spoke at some of their events and got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, like Sophie Trudeau's mom, somebody else, I can't remember who. But yes, without
some guy named Fidel, I can't remember his last name.
But no bid.
Castor oil. What is that? Castor oil.
That was it. Yeah.
But no
Castor oil.
No bid contracts for WE for like hundreds of millions of dollars. Nothing to see here, guys. It's not this disgusting incestuous relationship between the government and the so-called private sector. It's not fascism at all.
No.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the right hairstyle.
I
he,
just
he,
I
he
just
needs, he
don't
needs a funny
appreciate
moustache
him.
if he wants to be, evil.
He needs to be more orange if he's to be considered.
Fascist or yeah, no. I just don't appreciate him. I don't appreciate him or his handlers. The appreciation is at a level of 0.
Speaking of appreciation, I I just want to say that I don't know if I ever quite thanked you for the games that you got me.
Oh.
So kind of on the down low, I decided, hey, wouldn't it be awesome to get Irving some games here? So I got you some games.
And thank you so much. Yes, my man here. On more than one occasion, actually, you've sent me a couple of games over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to share because
Okay.
I mean,
And
it's been a while now. I hope you.
because I kind of felt bad because I was going to do a stream where I did sort of like an unboxing of Sims 4, and you got me Sims 4 almost like a year ago. And then
that was frivolous. Okay, I got you something that I thought was meaningful. I also thought, oh God, that's probably way too soon, and I'm sorry I did it. But also, it's a game you needed to have, and I want you so badly to play it.
okay,
Because it's been a bit now. Can we talk about your kitties?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, you loved your cats. You still love your cats, and I don't know if you have new. Do you have your eye on new cats, or are you gonna?
I haven't really, so largely because of kind of the expenses of travel last year.
Yeah.
I don't exactly have that quite yet, but I'm getting close.
Oh my God, isn't that terrible? That my head went to your cats, and I didn't even think. Oh, he also lost his father in the
Oh
past year.
yeah,
Jesus. Oh man,
it's just
it was
been
just
what
a
yeah
rough year for you, dude. Like
yeah
it was. Oh,
Don't
it,
worry about it. He'll be in the last place you look. Have you checked behind the sofa cushions?
oh, just the last 3 years of just in 2020 I lost one cat. In 2021 I lost the other cat, and then in 2022 I lost my dad. So it's just like it's been every year it's been something.
and like it never ends. The ride never ends, and it's terrible, and you know we have to deal with it. And sometimes you have stupid asshole friends who are like, "Oh, you know what I should do? I should give you something that reminds you of your loss," like a fucking loser. Sorry about that. Like, but
No, I do appreciate it. The I haven't actually gotten to play it yet, but I do appreciate that you got me that the cat game.
like the way like I've had animals my whole life, and I love the animals. I know the connection people have with them, and I saw this game, and I thought, if there's one person on the planet who should play this game, who would love this game, it's gonna be Six.
Yeah,
The timing was bad, and I'm sorry about that.
that's okay. Don't
Which
even
game
worry
is
about
this?
that.
Stray.
Oh,
Stray.
Stray. Yeah. I know that
Oh
one.
yeah. Like, the cat looks like your cat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and the game looks so beautiful and a little dark, but also hopeful and meandering, and that also reminded me of you,
Yeah.
right?
It,
Like
it's
you're
kind
Yeah.
all of those things, Six, and I just mistimed it because I'm a fucking drunk fool, and I'm sorry, but
No, don't even worry about that.
but I do
That was
think
actually it
you're gonna
was.
love it.
I took it as a very nice gesture, and it certainly was. And
I'm glad.
I watched Johnny Hellcat play it, and it kind of does have the same vibe as Six's Sober Stream. So you're just kind of wandering around and exploring, and obviously as a cat, you're not saying hello to people, but it's just it's kind of chill. Just walk around, see the sights, kind of take everything in.
And at the time, you were really you both of you were doing those nice hikes,
Yeah.
and the way the game plays out, a lot of it is a lot of exploring, a lot of just moving about, and it was a nice hike of a game. And but then you had also asked me about what would you do about playing GTA, like it actually playing GTA versus the
Mhm.
nice hikes of it, and we came up with this idea of wicked walks.
yeah,
Yes.
And this felt like a game that crossed that boundary from nice hikes to wicked walks. And I was like, oh, the cats, the nice hikes, the wicked walks. Here you go. This is exactly what you've been looking for. And yeah,
yeah.
11 months later, Guy, I hope at some point you try out this game and unbox it
I
on
will,
stream with Terry.
and one of the reasons I really haven't been doing the game streams in such a long time is I just been writing every day, and
Yeah. No, I
that's
know.
been
I
kind of
know.
my yeah.
Work and writing, and you just don't have time. And but I hope at some point you do get into
Well, I'll
this,
tell you,
because God, this is one of the few games that I myself am excited for and have still not got for myself.
Mhm.
And I am really excited to see it. And I'm not going to
yeah,
watch some other asshole play it. I'm going to watch
right.
you play it, or I'm going to play it, or
Yeah.
or nothing.
Well,
Right? So
I'll tell you what. This this fall, so I'm going to be done with the rough draft and final draft and all that. So and I'll be looking for ways to publish. So I'll have a lot of free time that I would otherwise be using to write to get that kind of stuff done. So that'll be from like October, November, December. That'd be a perfect time for me to do some more nice hikes and
Well,
some
I,
wicked
I
walks and so on and so forth.
I hate to cut this short, but I've got another stream in about half an hour, so I need to go like get food, go to the bathroom, all that stuff. So I'm
Alrighty.
gonna head out. Thanks for having me on, Irving. It's been great talking to you again.
no, thanks for coming. Good to see you, Terry. Really, and go enjoy your lunch in the future. Uh,
Yes, I will. All right. See you later, guys.
Take
have
it
a
easy,
good
man.
time, Terry. Good to see you.
Good guy.
Yeah. It always strikes me as weird that he's tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's so hard to reconcile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're an hour from now, so I'm actually I'm in your past.
But still, that's like reconcilable. That guy is tomorrow.
Yeah. It's already the ninth
We
there.
have an hour time difference. I'm Sunday. Fuck off. Like, go fuck yourself.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, no. Terry's the shit. He's a good guy. He carried the show for me, and yeah, I'm real pleased. I'm glad you guys came out here. I should have a separate show from Craig just with you guys.
Yeah.
If y'all could get your schedule straight and he could stop being in the future, we could do this regular.
So I will. It's probably the fall is going to be the time to be thinking about that kind of thing. Because right
No,
now,
yeah,
I'm
and you know what? Like
still
you're,
working on stuff.
I don't mean to pressure you, guy. Like but yeah, no, we go way back. You're writing a lot. I'm very happy for you. I can't wait to get a hold of your scripts because this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I should probably warn you. I don't know if you know, I'm a fucking spelling expert in both Canadian and American versions of English, and a grammar Nazi.
Yeah.
So for everything that you write, oh God, I will catch your split verbs. Don't you worry. I will destroy everything you've written with technicality. Don't just yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be upset. That's just the way I am.
Yeah. Uh, the other person the other person that I pitched the beta reading to is somebody that I expect very much the same.
Weibo.
And that, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are probably going to rip me a new one, but it's one of those things. It's like, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Cause if the manuscript is going to be done right, it's got to have some scrutiny.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure your writing is clean. Your story is, what's the word I'm looking for? Internally, logically consistent. Where I'm gonna tear you up is every little minor thing you did.
Yeah.
That and don't take it as any kind of insult. That's just yeah, no.
Every time I put a period instead of a comma before a quotation mark, you're probably going to catch.
Every time you put a colon where a semicolon is what's necessary, you're gonna hear it. Yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's gonna be and look, you want to go to print, it's got to be clean.
Yeah.
What was Terry telling me about fighting games? Right? Sometimes you got to get washed to get clean, right?
Yeah. And I'm thinking also of Polydub, and Polydub is another guy that's probably going to tear my ass a new one as far as that goes.
Right.
So I'll have three people that are looking at it from different objective philosophies. I don't know. That's the way.
To a degree, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna make sure all my T's are crossed and all my I's are dotted, and not the other way around.
That's the plan. Yeah.
So how's the doggo doing?
Oh, the doggo, man, it your cats were how old? 18 and 19, 15 and 17, something ridiculous.
Yeah, one of them was 19, the other one was 16.
Dogs get old fast. They go from young and spry one week to the next week they're geriatric. And Gordo is now he's 10 plus, he'll be 11 in February. He's an old man now. It just sort of happened. And like he may have 2-3 years left. He may have a couple of months. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So I've had pets before. I'm not going to be shocked, but I'll be very upset.
Yeah.
But I'm doing what I can for him. He's doing what he can, you know. But yeah, no, he's becoming an ornery old man where he's just like he's trying to tear shit up, but he doesn't have the strength anymore.
Yeah.
But he's crabby, you can tell.
Yeah. I'd
I
like to
feel
tear
bad
that
for him.
apart, but damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like because he's enormous. He has all this weight and these claws and these teeth, but he just doesn't have the energy anymore, and he's mad. And he wants to tear it up, and he goes for like 2 claws and a bite, and it's like, I gotta lay down. And the poor guy, like, he tries desperately. Like, I have multiple routes for walks. I have the short walk, the medium walk, and the long walk. We haven't been on the long walk for a long time. And every day he nudges me towards the medium walk. I used to let him just guide me. You want to do the medium, the long one? Sure. And it's so hot some of these days. And he's like,
Yeah.
we're doing the medium walk. Okay, let's go. And like halfway through, he's fucking dripping this. It's not even drooling from his sweat. It's like foam coming out of
Yeah.
his fucking nose and mouth. And it's like, you can pick it up and make a ball of it and throw it at somebody. It's that thick.
Yeah.
And it's like, you chose this, you fool. Let me guide you. That's my only job, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I try to take him on the shorter walks more often rather than the medium walks. But yeah, the poor guy, he doesn't understand. Like, it happens
Yeah.
so fast for a dog, they don't realize it happened. Where
Yeah.
I think like 16 and 19, cats have a little bit more time to age and understand they got older.
Yeah.
This dog is like, he doesn't get it. He doesn't know he got old. So yeah. Otherwise, like, for as old as he is, good shape, you know?
Yeah.
But
Still got it.
yeah.
So I really like that picture that you sent that one time.
Which one?
Um,
Was
let's
it the
see.
one with my hand on his face?
It might have been. Let me check the Twitters.
And he's got all those gray hairs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah, there he is.
I post this picture of me with the Italian hand rubbing his
Yeah.
face, and he's
Yeah.
smiling. He's got that dumb dog look, with
Yeah.
his tongue half out. And the quote is, I pet my dog in Italian, but he doesn't understand because he's Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah. But like, yeah, no, if you could see pictures of when he was 2 versus that picture, his
Yeah.
face is stark black. There's no white fur on his face at all. And then that picture you see, he has all these grays. Like, he turned gray over his lifetime. And it's like, I had a dog when I was younger, and he and I grew up together, from the time I was 11 till the time I was 20 odd. So we became men together. We grew up together. And now I have this dog, and I have all these grays in my beard, and he has all these grays. So one dog, we grew up together. This dog, we turned gray together. And yeah, it's different experience,
Yeah. And my cats. So the cats that I had before them, I got when I was a teenager, and they lived until I was in my 30s, in my mid 30s. These other 2 cats that I had, I started out I got them when I was already in my 20s, so they both lasted until my 40s. Yeah, and they kind of got gray with me as well. They didn't
Yeah.
really grow any gray fur, but they entered into that sort of transition from like early adulthood until like mid adulthood, I suppose. And then, yeah, it's one of those things where lifetimes of people and lifetimes of pets are just so vastly different.
Yeah, it's another thing entirely. Okay, so we have literally 0 viewers, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. But Six, don't dip. Let's just chat a little more.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to just hang out with you a bit, so if you're in no rush, let's just
Yeah, I got about 20 minutes here. I can just
yeah. So thank you everyone who was there and everyone who might watch afterwards. But we're calling it a little early, and we'll see you next week. I think Craig's back. So good night and hail Sigmar. Any last words, Six?
I like pizza.
I like turtles, and I don't appreciate you.